background in Nyakabiga, a young boy growing up in Nyakabiga. How was it? How was it when you were too young?
Man, thank you very much, first of all, for getting me in here. It's a privilege. I know it's not like everybody who actually gets on the platform. It's really an outstanding thing, and you guys are doing an amazing thing with the Setback podcast. And I saw a couple of guys that you have hosted. I was like, wow, when I got the message that you wanted me on, it was really something that really touched me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I grew up in a very humble family in Nyakabiga. We are a family of 4. Then, you know, we never missed food to eat, but we were not like the richest as well. We were educated. I grew up with a mother who was a small business owner. She was selling palm oil, and my dad was a teacher and a government employee. So that was really how I was brought up. If you know the Burundian context, you will know what that means as a family. Afterwards, we were all able to actually go through school, which was a good foundation, a good background. A few historic places in Nyakabiga, growing up in Nyakabiga, are obviously the University of Burundi that is nearby, but also there is the High School of Skippers. High school, I think it was built around 1968, from 1968 to 1998 or something like that. It was like built like 20 or 30 years. So that's like historic for me, because those are the places that, apart from school, where you go to school, that's really what you are doing. Before
we continue, Ant, because you said that your family was able to send you to school, even your siblings, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. I went to Université Lumière, like Light University of Bujumbura. That's where I went to study law. Actually, in the beginning, I was supposed to study communication because it was something that actually all of my friends went to do. I had just actually signed up for the university. He has already given me the money. And then he asked me, what did you choose? I was like, communication. Oh, okay. And then this person actually misspelled. There's a position in Burundi called Agatongwasa. So the presenter actually put it, he said Agasongwata, right? Like he misspelled. And then my dad was like, so that's what you want to start doing? Saying things like that online? I was like, I don't want to do that. Definitely, I don't want to do that. And then it was around the time that Barack Obama was actually getting his second term, right? So I was like, this is something that is good, and actually Barack Obama has a degree in law. So my dad was like, why don't you pick up something in law? Because law actually is something that usually is fancy, and so parents, they like those fancy. My dad convinced me to actually go to law, and I ended up liking it, and it ended up being something that I liked, and is built up for the future that I have planned already. As a child, growing up in those streets of Nyakabiga.
When you were young, were you at some point in time disconnected and were not able to discover your path?
There is a lot to purpose. People don't understand the word purpose. Purpose is, for me at least, what you are born to do, and which God have actually given you talent and skills to do. The reason why I talk about purpose a lot is because anything you do short term will either get you depressed, will either get you short results, but anything you do long term, you can on 90 or 99.5% be ready and actually pull it off, succeed at it. So purpose is really done on a very long term, right? Purpose is not something you do for 1 year or 5 years. This is something that you built up as what you have as your burden for the society, for your family, for your country, for your continent, for the world. That's something that really you are called for, right? That's why I talk about it that much, because anything I've tried to do for 1 month, 1 year, hasn't really been that successful. Of course, I am successful, you know, but the understanding of a purpose actually gives you more peace to accomplish more and better long term. So the reason why I talk about it is because I'm encouraging people, especially young people, that's who I'm talking to most. I'm encouraging them to really think long term. Today people don't think. We are becoming more stupid. We don't take time to sit down and think, right? So my first approach, or my first, you know, interaction with the word purpose was from this book called The Purpose-Driven Life. It was written by Rick Warren. So from that book, it's 40 days. It's like 40 chapters, but divided into 40 days. This book actually gives you really a sense of understanding where you're going and why you are going there. And it gives you the tools for you to sit down and think of where you're trying to go. But also, it was through a very powerful sermon that I heard, which actually pushed me to reflect on why I am here on earth. Because everything around us has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. Everything is around for something specific and actually needs to get to where it's supposed to be fulfilling. A tree has a purpose, and a person also needs to have a purpose. That's why I talk a lot about that.
There is a conference that probably shaped the way you think, the way you are, maybe gave you another perspective. A conference in Congo that was in 2016. How was it?
It was in Bukavu, in South Kivu. It was a conference with AOLF. I don't know if you are familiar with AOLF. AOLF is...
I know it. I remember it.
Africa Youth Leadership Forum.
Yeah.
That was like 7 countries or 8 countries, I don't remember. We had Congo, Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, not Senegal, but Nigeria. There was somebody from South Sudan and stuff, you know. So like we met for like 4 days, a couple of young people, you know, where we really learned about leadership. What are the good values about leadership? You have to have a vision, you have to have a plan, you know. I remember going there, you know, it was a very fun time. Apart from the people, but also the teachings were very deep. You know, they were calling guys who have a lot of experience. And we spent some very, very good time there. I remember that when I came back, I was like, Hans, so now what is your vision? So I remember I was staying in a very small place. It was my first personal room, like as a young adult. I was like 18 or 19, I don't remember. And then I was sitting there. Then I was asking myself, it was a very dark place. We didn't have electricity that day. You know, I was just seated and thinking, now, Hans, what is your vision? What do you want to do? Who do you see yourself in 10, 20, 30, 40 years? Because we have been taught that a lot of people die, and then they misuse their skills because they don't have a vision. They don't have anything that they would like to do in the future. So for me, I really opened up like that because I learned also that a question opens up the mind, but a statement actually closes the mind. So me asking myself those kind of questions, they opened me up for something that, you know, just shaped me and helped me do what I'm doing right now.
You worked with the NGOs. and the UN, grassroots, youth, and global leaders. What's one thing you've learned that's true across all levels of leadership? Any experience from there?
Listen, there is always something to learn to any place if you want to learn. I've worked with, I wouldn't say everybody, but most people. In my sector, I was in entrepreneurship, capacity building, and so on. I've really worked with almost everybody. You know, going with the African Union to Buterere, working with, you know, grassroots communities, to, you know, going in meetings where there's the head of the World Bank in the country. I've had a chance and grace from God to really go across all of those things. Something that I've learned from, you know, walking around those very, very important people, the young people that I've worked with, is you have to be constantly learning. Don't be a person who's content, who's satisfied, who's actually, you know, blocked in your mind, because information today, it goes so fast that you'll be left behind. I'll just give you a number. This is from, you know, general knowledge. The amount of information that was created from the dawn of the human time up to now, today is created in one day. One day. Now imagine if your reading is not up, if your communication is not up, if your interpersonal skills is not up, then you'll be left behind. So for me, it was constantly learning, constantly reading, because the information is power, but if you use it. So applied knowledge is power. It's not only knowledge, because knowledge is out there, but are you applying it? Are you using it? But also, something else that I learned is humility. People who really are up there, who are really on the top of the mountain, they are humble, because they know that it's very hard to get there, and it's very humbling to get there. But when you understand that it can take just a second for you to go down again, you stay humble. You don't really think of yourself as high like everybody else, but you just, you know, make it very, very humble. I remember when I was hosting Mrs. Hawage at my office. You see, this person is managing hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Hundreds of millions of dollars. But the person is simple, she's calm, talking to you like you are humans, like not like she's superior to you guys. You know, she's very humble, right? So that's also a skill that I learned a lot. Don't think yourself like you are superhuman or superhero that you can't go down. Something else that I learned was you have to have people. You have to know people. Working with NGOs, it was really that. I was on the point of how it's important to work with people. So like I was talking about that you have to have people, because people will get you to anywhere or anything that you are doing, because people are actually the center of everything. You know, whatever kind of lifestyle that you're looking for is one person away from it. Every person that you have as a friend or as a contact, as a good relationship that you have built with him, it becomes easier for you to actually get to whatever you're trying to get to, right? So that was really the whole experience. To the question of how I got in North America.
Yeah.
That's a long story. It's really a long story. But what I can say is that the world is full of opportunities. The world is full of ways to move, right? You know, the moment you get that, look, the world is big, it's very huge, it's very amazing, and the moment you understand you understand it, you start looking for how you can contribute the most.
This week's message: fail now. You know, it's quite interesting how people in general are afraid of failing. It always amazes me. It's
the time I see some short videos that you post on I think on a weekly basis. What is it about? Because I see this is a message of the week, What is it about?
It's called the weekly dose. Right? No, this is something that I used to do with my partner, Jonathan. We used to do a lot of them actually when we had a company in Burundi. And a few people have actually been asking us about them, right? Back then we called them spears dose, right? So I couldn't come up with that's already a brand that is already there. So I couldn't actually do against spears dose. So like I have a few guys that were actually asking me, hey, can you do some videos and stuff? And then I was like, hey, since I have all the materials to do actually a podcast, but I haven't started yet. So I started doing weekly doses because the weekly dose actually helps us actually navigate life. People are going through a lot. More than 85 countries across the world have had elections. So it becomes a lot of things actually shift and change, right? So it's more of that than anything else. So like I want to encourage people to think, encourage people to work, to do whatever they want to do. That's why I choose a topic a week. Like today, for example, I was playing tennis. So like when you play tennis with guys, there are a few things that you learn. And then when I learn that, then I come and share with people and so on and so forth. But the end of it will be a podcast, obviously. Yeah.
You mentioned Bright. Who is Bright to you?
Blood. Brother from another mother. If I had a big bro, that would be him. Jonathan, there's no time in life since we have met a decade ago that we have been apart. Wherever I was, he was. Wherever he was, I was. Yeah.
I remember you two guys, what you were doing here in Burundi. I mean, you and Jonathan. How is the work now here in Burundi since you are no longer here? How is it now? Because being inspiring young guys here in Burundi, inspiring them, reading books on leadership and everything. How is it now? Or it's no longer something that is up and running?
No, like we grow, we grow, and we were successful. It was we started something from the bottom with no name and no money, nothing, and we grew it to coaching, Miss Burundi guys, candidates, working with different entities around the country from zero, literally from zero. So we were very successful with that. But priorities change sometimes. We have to evolve because needs change as well. Like people need some. If I came up with a leadership conference in Burundi right now, that'll be very hard. Because the needs are not the same. People are much more into looking for solutions, innovative solutions that can actually help them build up whatever they want to build. But we are very grateful that whatever we have done in the past has actually gained a lot of popularity and impacted people on different levels. Sometimes I go on the page and check, and you'll see that people who are in our conferences are the ones that are leaders in their sectors right now. So that's really something. In Burundi, we no longer think Burundi. We think abroad. We think bigger. We think better. We think continent. We think the globe. So it's not only one country anymore, because we have worked with guys across. Of course, a lot of things are not posted. When we work with people, when we travel across the globe, but it's more that than anything else. Yeah.
What is the thing that is lacking for we young people here, maybe in the region, that we lack, maybe during our personal development, the confusion and everything? What is it? Where do we fail? Where do things go wrong? And I don't know. Do you have any site that we can share? We can say we young people here in the country, in the region, we are supposed to be doing this. There is something that we are not just going with. What can you tell us? What can you say? Tell the people who are watching and listening.
I think that every excuse that a Burundian young man or young woman has right now is valid. Every excuse that any Burundian young man or young woman has right now is valid. But having that valid problem or worry or situation will not make it grow, right? So the idea of complaining doesn't help. What actually will help is finding the right circle where you talk positive things. So for me, the insight that I can give a young man is 4 things. Number 1, get clarity on what you want. What do you want? Don't be vague, don't be general. I want money. No, that's too general. No, right? Be clear on what you want. Clarity, that's number 1. Number 2, find the skills that you have. Make a list of the skills that you have. Right? That's number 2. Number 3, and on this number 2, acquire them however much you want. Because today we have ChatGPT, right? Today we have all the tools necessary. If you want to learn something, actually go and learn it. And during this thing, it's going to actually get you to something that you never thought was possible. Number 3 is get with people who are doing what you were trying to do or what you want to do. That's number 3. Number 4, find find a mentor, right? Find a mentor, somebody who has been around for some time.
The last question, do you still have Nyakabiga in your heart? Probably that you miss.
Yeah, sure, man. No, Nyakabiga is a very nice place. I remember the University of Burundi, obviously. Scrapers, obviously. There was a restaurant on the angle of Avenue Université and I don't remember the other name, Avenue Muyinga or something. I also miss the food. The food is really something that I miss.
Isombe.
I miss like isombe. I miss like igitoke. I miss like I miss beans, bro. If I tell you last time I ate beans, you will laugh. I miss the people. I miss the people. There's too much order for my head. Because I miss people passing with Indagara. Zandagara. I miss that, man. I miss that. Someone passing through the street and Zandagara. I'm like, wow, bro. Yeah, there's a plenty of things that I miss, but I miss obviously the people. I miss the weather as well.
Yeah.
The weather is something that I also.
The weekends.
I'm not that much of a weekend person. But,
okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm not that much of a weekend person, but
But I used to see you Kwaseko. Can you still remember Kwaseko?
Of course. You can't be defensive forever. you have to go out sometimes, but
Thank you so much, Hans, for accepting our invitation. It has been a pleasure to have you here in the Setback.
Man, keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Keep inviting people who have a good message to share with the people. Maybe we can do this again in the future.
For sure. This is the start. Thank you so much, Hans.
Peace, man. Thank you.